What's up guys, Megaleader here with another episode of Project Architect 2. This is episode 4 I believe, and this episode we're going to work on getting a nice large proper base set up. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I'll walk you through what I did between the episodes. So I did an absolute ton of exploring, trying to scout out a new location for us. I even did a /RTP. I also set up wireless AE2 access. So we've got the quantum bridge card with the quantum entangled singularity in our quantum ring here. So now we can have access to AE2 from anywhere. For me to show you our new base location here, I believe I got a whole bunch of them in here. I think it might be, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So we can see I've got an anchor over there that we can teleport to, but we're going to walk over to here. We've got a beacon beam there. We'll take a walk on this path, and this will be the new location, or the location of our new base once it kind of finishes loading in there. There we go. So I used the builder and the quarry card to cut out this whole entire section. And I've got some anti-blocks down there just to make it look like it drops down into the void. So what I'm planning on doing is building this huge, like fantasy, futuristic looking spire. If I remember, I'll put an image on screen here of what we're looking for. But I'm actually planning on using the terrain and the cut and paste gadget to get our shapes kind of figured out. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is use like this mountain terrain here. So taking a look at our reference image, let's take and cut out this section here. So what my plan is, cut this whole entire section out. And what I want to do is have the paste in. So what we are going to do is find a nice place to try and anchor this. And this is essentially going to be one of the like outside edges. I think I want to move that out farther. Yeah, I think I want the base to be much wider than that. So let's remove that anchor. Get closer to the ground so we can see. We're going to come out to possibly here. Yeah, I like that. Let's paste that in. And then I have a strategy. We're not just going to have this terrain here. I actually have a backpack here that's got a bunch of our building materials in it. And we're going to take our exchanging gadget and pull out a bunch of our building materials. We're going to go ahead and break this guy. Break one of these ice blocks. Say, hey, you are going to exchange all of this. And we are going to do... I don't want it to... Connected planes. Fuzzy. No, not fuzzy. Okay. So we can take this guy, and sure, we'll leave these edges flat. There we go. So we've got an outside kind of foot of our base. What I'm going to do is cut a whole bunch of terrain out of the world, and I might end up, what I'll probably end up doing is cutting this back some. So I'll probably go in with like my pickaxe and just vein mine. Probably get a better pickaxe. If I take the red morning star here, this should work a whole lot better. What we should do is be able to like break all of this out. And since it's just the obsidian on the outside, or more or less just the obsidian on the outside, we might just do that. I think we might just do that. Yeah, I think that'll work out. So I'm gonna get a bunch more stuff placed in and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so I did some building, I did some tinkering, and I moved some stuff around. It's been like almost a week since I've last recorded, like 5 or 6 days. I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and actually intentionally record. It's kind of been just sit down, do some stuff, and then move on with life. So here we are. Here is the reveal. There it is. Here is the kind of basic layout that I've got. I did go ahead and build up some platforms and design them. I will probably try and add more. I think I'm going to add some more elements, try and add some more colors into them, some stuff like that. I did build up the obsidian kind of tendrils here. I'll probably build these up more. These are kind of a pain to build, I'll be honest. It takes a lot to build them up. I was using the building gadget, the copy and paste gadget, but the problem is that can only copy and paste so much. So this whole structure here, I actually had to do in 4 chunks. I had to do like a bottom layer, a second, a third, and then a fourth. I did go ahead and move our applied energistic system over here. Here are the backpacks that have our building materials in them. We've also got some travel anchors and elevators here. So if we go downstairs, we can see the bottom level and our lights. So I expanded our controller. This will get bigger just with the resources that I had. This was as large as I could make it. I will definitely make it larger. I'm going to use these wireless connectors. My plan is to make the controller larger and then have the wireless connectors actually on the inside of it. Probably use P2P connections. I don't know, maybe I'll set up a bunch of P2P channels, and then I've got our connector over here, our wireless connector. I did rename the wireless connector, so it's MA wireless connector there. This one's not supposed to say that. This is blank. I don't have another set up somewhere. But over here, what I have is this wireless is connected. This green one's connected to that green one. And then over here, I've got AE2 molecular assemblers. So if we go downstairs, that channel is coming in right here. And then there's a dense cable that's running cable all the way down to be able to connect to these wireless connectors. And then using the connection kit, if we shift right click, we can clear it, and we can click on that guy and then just connect them. So we'll connect the farthest one here, and then we can take this one and just connect them up the line. Well, you don't actually have to clear the connection. You can just click on the next one. So now all of these are set up. And I did go ahead and set up some molecular assemblers, the extended molecular assembler, and the extended pattern provider. So these have a lot more space. And then these are all filled up with acceleration cards. We won't need a ton of these. We can already see that there's already a ton of crafting recipes, and I actually want to have a lot of this stuff set on passive. This quartz glass, this has EMC. I don't know why I set up a pattern for that. That'll be something that we just use, that we just do with some passive crafting. I don't think any of the rest. I think the pistons probably have EMC too, if I remember correctly. Yes, they do. So we'll end up setting up systems for that probably, or maybe we will use this one because we'll have glass and stuff like that on passive. Who knows? What I want to do today is set up some ore processing. We've got a big system here. I did go ahead and automate our inscribers. So there's in each one of these, there's a silicon and a press for the other half of it. And then in the middle, it goes in there. So I've got these set up just on exports. So exporting silicon, exporting redstone, and exporting diamonds. And then down here, this is just set to auto export. And then it's just going to send out into the interface. I do have that set up on a level emitter though. So right here is a inverted toggle bus. So it is going to turn these channels off when the redstone is active. and this is a threshold limiter. So the engineering process, I have the upper threshold set to 64 and the lower set to 32. So when it's above 64, it will turn on this signal, but it won't turn off the signal until it gets below 32. And then once it starts to rebuild, once it gets up to 64, it will turn it off. That way it's not just going to sit here and flicker. And then once we have resources automated, I'm going to raise this up to a higher number. I plan on probably using these threshold limiters a lot throughout our build because I want to have just digital storage using the 256K ME drive and then the mega bulk item storage cells. So what we're going to do today, or what the last thing we're going to do today, is process all of our raw materials. So we have 10 materials that we're going to process today, and I think we can start by putting that over here. And I think we're just going to use blast furnaces, honestly, because we could duplicate these. You know, we could put it in the machine or in the washing factory. We could pulverize it. We could run it through mechanism system, but I don't think there's much of a reason to do that. I don't think resource generation. Yeah, I don't think there's any real reason to go super crazy. We're better off just going really fast and using the rainbow furnace. We could do that, and we could put a blast augment into this guy, and it's just going to process stuff super quick. So what I'm actually going to do is set up a recipe, or set up recipes for this. These glasses won't be too terrible, and I'm going to craft up 10 of these rainbow furnaces, and then get them all set up, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, here's what I've got. Got rainbow furnace with blasting, speed, and factory upgrades. We need to turn split on. I guess I can copy that. So this is split. Split on. I need to right click to copy. So this has split on. This has split off. If I shift right click, it will apply it. So split is on. Oh, I need to do this. Split on, input, output, auto input on, auto output off. So we're going to not mess it up again. Right click. There. Now all of these are going to be set the same. We look, we can see they're not set the same. Why are they not setting? Sneak right click to apply. Apply, apply. Do I have to be on the ground? I have to be on the ground. Okay. That's an interesting feature, I suppose. Nope. So now they are all set. So what I have done is use the cell workbench to filter all of these drives. This one is filtered to just iron. So what we're going to do is go through and set these guys. So we set that to iron. We should see this is going to automatically pull it in. Should push, and we'll see gold is maxed out. Right? The next one we've got is copper. So if we just look at ingots, copper, we've got 1,700 copper ingots. Let's see how long it takes to get to 4,000. Not very long at all. Nice, and it's just because of the output speed on this, honestly, isn't that great. So osmium, uranium, so we're going to see those fire up. Look at that, uranium already up to 1,000. Let's get rid of those. We've got nickel, tin, lead, silver, and zinc. This is going to get us all of the resources that we need. We'll go ahead and throw these back into our tablet. But now we can see our ingots are fully automated. We'll need steel, netherite, invar, stuff like that. But that's some stuff that we'll get to in a little bit. The last things that we're going to need are going to be some of the other resources. If we take a look here, we're going to need probably glowstone. Let's do coal too. Redstone, lapis, diamonds, of course, Certus quartz, and regular quartz. And what we're going to do is get rid of all of the stuff in here. So we'll have 7 more things that we need to automate. It might be more than that. Let me check and see. Okay, so I automated resources, and to make it a little bit easier on myself and keep things clean, I set up these ME threshold limiters. So those are the same ones that we're using on our circuit production. So now when we take iron out, it's not going to refill it. That's just going to stay in there. The furnace isn't going to do anything, so we can put stuff back in, and we're not going to have a whole lot of extra stuff clogging up our drives. I'll probably use, I named this area down here material fab, like material fabrication. So we'll probably do a bunch of stuff down here. There's still more stuff that we need to do, like automating silicon. We are working with this silicon here, so I'll probably just set up another furnace, and it'll be a system similar to this. What I want to do, what I would really like to do is figure out a good way to minimize channels down here, because currently, if I pop this cover off, currently we're using 20 channels down here. So I've got room for 12 more machines, and I think I might be looking to set some up like here. You know, we could set machines here or something like that, or because these are just kind of passive. So these platforms, I made them really large. Maybe we'll set machines up here along this side. I'm not certain. I would like to leave the colored parts, the designed parts, kind of exposed. So we've got 12 more channels that we can work with. So what that tells me is we could put a machine on each one of these corners, like so, and automate that, and that would use up the 12 remaining channels that we have on that one wireless connector. I mean, we could run P2Ps also, which wouldn't be a bad idea. We don't have... There is another version of the P2P that has like multiple... No, this... because we'll have one input and we could do multiple outputs. Yeah, so maybe we'll switch to that. Maybe that might be easier once we build a bigger controller. We should be pretty much at a place where we can do that. Skystone blocks, these have EMC. The Fluix we do have coming through over here. All of these resources that are at 4,000 are set up there like that. Let's put this cover back on here. All right, guys, so here is what I've come up with. I've got these channels dug out, and what we're going to do is set these guys up here. If we lay out all these cables, then put a little cable here and a P2P there, a little one there, P2P there, a little one there, and a P2P there, we can see we've got connections going out there, and then I've got channels dug out here. But I'm going to show you what I was working on. So I used the frame blocks here to decorate a little bit more, and this goes all the way around. We've got some employees here. We've got Kim, got Lacey, and this is the rest of our setup. We've also got Pat and Calvin. So this is what we're looking at. If we take a look and flip around, I did centralize all of our storage. So on this little intersection here, I've got drives here. These are all partitioned and all named. So if we take a look over here, 4,000 pistons, 4,000 clay balls. And those are all set up. We've got stone. I put monitors here so we can also see. This is Certus quartz. It's getting pulled out of here and placed into the interface. And then there's threshold emitters here that are turning it off. And what we can actually do, if we take a look at, let's see, what is something, we've got silicon here. We've got 868 silicon. So we can set this to 1024 and move the bottom side to 15 or 512. And then if we cycle this, we take the silicon and pull some out, actually. We'll pull it out under 512. We'll see it kick on. And boom, it just fills up that fast. It was under 512 and it went all the way up to 1024. And these are set up, so like this one here, these are just pulling out of the links. These, just like our ores, our raw iron and things like that. This is just Certus quartz and it's getting cooked. For the crafting recipes, what I did was set up a molecular assembler, and you can just put the pattern inside of this. And I've got an export bus exporting netherite scrap and gold, and that'll get pumped into here and it will create netherite. So if we take some of the netherite and turn a bunch of it into blocks, like so, we'll see this turn on. Now it's going to export into here and it's going to fill that up. And then I also set up a second floor with some more stuff. I did decorate, so I would like you guys to let me know in the comments, should I use the cable facades on everything? These are just cable facades that are covering up our cables here. That'll give us more of a look like this. Or should I just leave it exposed? I kind of like the exposed look. We can see through, it adds more depth to it. You can see over here on the part that's closed, like if I just stay still right here, you can see over here on the left side, you can see through everything a little bit better. And I think it makes it a little bit cooler, I think. Down here on the ground, you can't really tell that much of a difference. I mean, you can see through, so it does add depth. You know, if we're over here, we can see through, and there's things on the other side. I put these here, just that way they're not just floating machines. And then up on the third level, that's where I was showing you guys this. And to show you our controller, I've got just a random one here. What we're doing, this is our new controller. I still have to move these guys, but what we can do is if we go to this travel anchor on the inside, we can see that I've got P2P connectors set on the inside, and each one of these cables, so I've got these green cables here, there's 8 P2Ps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're going through to these wireless connectors. So the whole inside is connected up. And then if we go down here, those wireless connectors are here, and they're going down, putting channels into this secondary controller, which is just our P2P controller. And then we're taking channels out of these, and these wireless connections are the ones that are here in the middle. Sometimes we get some slimes spawning down here. So if we look down here, we can see there's the yellow one, and then down here, there's the other lime one. And I just put the villagers down here, just so they can be like employees for us. We'll use them sometimes. Sure, we could use like the redstone trade to get emeralds there, since we don't really have a good way to get emeralds. We would probably set up a villager emerald farm, because I don't think that there's a good way to get emeralds otherwise. And then when I'm ready to use a new set of P2P channels, like if we go up here to the third floor, right, these P2Ps are not connected to anything. All I have to do is go inside of our controller. I'm going to shift right click to clear to clear the memory card, and all of these are being used. The whole bottom row is being used. And then I think, which one did I start to use next? I think it was one of these green ones. Was it a yellow? Maybe the top? Maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I'm using one of these ones on the side yet. I don't think I am. So I'm going to use the top set. So with a cleared memory card, you can see this little purple box right here. It doesn't have any colors. We shift right click. Now it's got colors, and those colors actually correspond. If we come around, which way? This way. So if you look at these little colors here, yellow, green, was that like some sort of blue-ish, and then a gray? These here have the yellow, the green, the blue, and the gray. And they're also, you can see up at the top, that 4DB7. So if we come down here, and we go to our third floor, we can actually link these. So now these will all be linked. And I think one of the things that we're going to get working on next is probably Draconic Evolution. Or possibly, I think maybe the bigger reactors. For the bigger reactors, we're going to need reactor casings, and we're going to need graphite for that, which we can blast coal. So if we go in here to our furnace, we're going to go ahead and request a furnace. Then we're going to need an EMC link, which we can put right there. We're going to take our furnace, and then we need these upgrades. We're missing sugar. There is some stuff that I don't have automated just yet, but we're slowly chipping through it. So we'll take these. We'll put down that guy. We need to change this input, output. Change that to redstone high. That's important. And if we take this guy and move him up here, that's how we do that. Now we need an interface. We need a monitor, a storage monitor, and we need a level emitter. So we're going to put this guy here, put the interface there, put the storage monitor there, and then this is going to be set to graphite. So I'll put graphite there, and we're going to want a lot of graphite, so I'm actually going to say 3,000 and 5,000, and we want to change this. Emit when levels are below. So when we are low on graphite, it's going to emit a redstone signal. So redstone on, machine on. This is redstone high, which means it needs redstone for it to work. We're also, I push my quest button, we're also going to need an induction card. So we'll pop that guy in there, and so now this guy is getting energy. I'll explain that in a second, that induction card. And then lastly, what we're going to need is a drive and a 4K disc. The drives I've been putting here, and then we're going to have to connect that guy up. He's going to get a high priority. And then we need our anvil on a stick and our cell workbench. In the cell workbench, we are going to drag graphite over to here, your graphite ingot, and then we're going to rename this guy graphite ingot. And that's real loud, so we'll pop him in here. So now the graphite ingot has a place to go. And if we take some coal, one piece of it should be fine. If we cook it, we're going to get the graphite, but we're going to need that. So this graphite is in here, and if we actually look, we'll see that this is storing 1. So we're going to take him out, right-click him on there, and then we're going to shift right-click to lock that, and then we're going to set this to coal, and we're going to see this guy kick in, and now it's cooking super fast. Cooking a whole stack at a time. And now we're full on graphite. Just as easy as that. And then for bigger reactors, I believe that's the only thing that we need. Unless we can make the cyanite. To be able to make the turbine, we need plutonium, which is reprocessed cyanite. Where is it at? To get the plutonium dust. Is it dust? Let's see. Processed from cyanite and the cyanite reprocessor. There does not appear to be a JEI for that, but we'll have to use the, where is it? The cyanite reprocessor. We'll have to build this guy. We could probably build that. Let's just see. Let's see what this looks like. So if we place him down, yeah, so we can just put cyanite right in here. So what I'll probably do is auto-craft the cyanite dust using the uranium and the sand. And that doesn't get used for anything else, but we can reprocess it into plutonium. So we have to put cyanite in here and then water in here, and we get plutonium out. And that's actually how we craft the turbines. And I believe what I want to do, let's come back over here. We're going to put it over here. I think what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to build up power. And what I think I'm going to want to do is put a 17 by 17 by 17 bigger reactor here. And then turbines over here. And what I actually want to do is stack up the bigger reactors and mechanism reactors over here. We'll do that for power. But that's how we're going to do that. And I'll probably put the cyanite one here as well. This red Morningstar is super fast. And then all we do from now, or from here, is just take this out. And we chain it together, like so. And this allows us to set up other machines. And what we'll just do is set up this. So we're going to crush down uranium, probably in a pulverizer. And then we will craft the uranium and some sand into cyanide dust. And then the cyanide dust we will, I think we have to put the cyanide ingot into the reprocessor. I'm not certain though. We could probably test that. Let's see, a pulverizer. And I actually, so what I did, and I'm not quite there yet, but things like this redstone flux coil and the machine frame, those are on autocraft. So we've got 216 machine frames. If we take some of those out, we will see it start to fill up. Yeah, see 26, 27. So the pulverizer, we go ahead and grab a flux point and our configurator. I was just kind of putting some manual machines up here. If we put the pulverizer down and we get some integral components and some augments. So these are fully autocrafted as well. We'll take some uranium. We'll pop that in there. Take that and craft it with sand. Whoops. Uranium dust. Take the cyanide dust. And let's try this. Okay, so we cannot put that in there. But if we cook it, we can put it in there. We just need some water. And now that's working. How much water does it take per cyanite? It takes 2 cyanite, and it takes 200 millibuckets of water to make plutonium. So we will definitely automate that. We'll have to put these in there. Yes. There we go. There we go. So we'll automate that downstairs. But I just want to say thanks for stopping in. The channel has grown a ton here since the Sky Factory video. If you are here and you're enjoying the content, it would be super, super, super helpful if you liked and subscribed and commented anything that you might like to see or stuff that you might like to have explained a little bit more. Thanks for stopping in.